Welcome to the Miracle Garden, where we explore the power of perennial vegetables, plants you establish once and harvest for decades. Imagine walking into your garden in spring and picking fresh, tender vegetables without replanting or starting seeds every year. Unlike traditional annual vegetables, which require constant planting, weeding, watering, and care, perennial vegetables grow and return year after year. They are the foundation of a sustainable, resilient garden. Once established, they provide continuous harvest across seasons with far less effort. Think of them like fruit trees. Just as an apple tree produces fruit for decades, these vegetables keep giving, producing more each year as they mature. Our first perennial superstar is asparagus, often called the gold standard of perennial vegetables. Once established, asparagus produces tender, delicious spears for 15 to 25 years from a single planting. Asparagus crowns send up spears every spring before most other vegetables emerge. You harvest them for 6 to 8 weeks, then allow the plants to grow into ferny foliage, which nourishes the crowns for the next year. Plant 1-year-old asparagus crowns in well-drained soil enriched with compost. Dig a trench 12 inches wide and 6 to 8 inches deep. Space crowns 18 inches apart, spreading the roots carefully. Cover with 2 to 3 inches of soil initially, and gradually fill the trench as the plants grow. Minimal care is required. Keep the bed weed-free during the first few years. Once established, the plants naturally suppress weeds. Add compost each spring and cut back dead foliage in late fall. Snap spears at ground level when they reach 6 to 8 inches tall. Harvest daily during peak season. Stop in early summer to let remaining spears grow into ferns. Popular varieties include Jersey Knight, Jersey Giant, and Purple Passion. Green varieties are standard, while purple varieties are sweeter and more tender. Asparagus is best fresh, but it can also be blanched and frozen for long-term use. Next is rhubarb, a hardy perennial that produces tart, delicious stalks for 20 or more years. Rhubarb is a cool season vegetable that emerges early in spring, often pushing through cold soil to deliver thick red or green stalks. Important safety note: only the stalks are edible. Leaves contain high levels of oxalic acid and are toxic. Never eat them. Plant rhubarb crowns in full sun or partial shade. Space plants 3 to 4 feet apart to allow for large growth. Rhubarb prefers rich, well-drained soil, but becomes tolerant of poorer soils once established. Do not harvest the first year. In the second year, take a few stalks lightly. By the third year and beyond, you can harvest heavily throughout spring and early summer. Pull stalks from the base using a twisting motion, taking only 1/3 to 1/2 of the stalks at a time. Leave the rest to feed the crown. Mulch in fall to protect crowns from frost. Add compost annually, and divide plants every 8 to 10 years to maintain vigor. Popular varieties include Victoria, Canada Red, and Valentine, best suited for cold winter climates to break dormancy. Rhubarb is virtually indestructible, low maintenance, and highly productive. One plant provides enough stalks for pies, jams, and sauces every season, a true staple for any perennial vegetable garden. By establishing asparagus and rhubarb in your garden, you start building a miracle garden that rewards you for decades. In our next video, we'll explore 2 more perennial vegetables that are equally productive and low maintenance. Welcome back to the Miracle Garden. In our first video, we explored asparagus and rhubarb, 2 perennial vegetables that provide abundant harvest for decades. Today, we'll introduce 2 more extraordinary perennials, horseradish and globe artichoke. At number 3, we have horseradish, a perennial root crop that is nearly indestructible and spreads aggressively. Once planted, it produces spicy, pungent roots for decades with minimal effort. Horseradish thrives in poor soil, tolerates drought, survives neglect, and actually improves with minimal care. Fresh horseradish has a flavor and aroma far superior to store-bought, adding heat and complexity to sauces, condiments, and pickles. Plant root cuttings in spring, 12 to 18 inches apart, at a 45-degree angle and 2 to 3 inches deep. Water until established, then allow the plant to grow independently. Horseradish spreads via underground rhizomes, producing new roots around the original crown. This can make it invasive if not contained, so dedicate a large bed or use a deep container for cultivation. Dig roots in fall after the first frost, which improves flavor. Harvest only what you need, leaving smaller roots to regrow. Minimal. Fertilization is optional but rarely necessary. Once established, horseradish requires virtually no maintenance. Great fresh roots for sauces, condiments, or medicinal purposes. The leaves can be composted. Number 4 is globe artichoke, a striking perennial that produces 3 edible crops from a single plant: the large flower buds, young leaves, and thick stems. Beyond its culinary value, it also provides ornamental structure in the garden. Globe artichokes produce gourmet vegetables that can be harvested repeatedly once the plant matures. The buds are iconic, the leaves can be eaten as greens, and the stems offer a flavor similar to asparagus. Start from transplants or root divisions in full sun with rich, well-drained soil. Space plants 3 to 4 feet apart. Artichokes are heavy feeders, so incorporate compost or organic fertilizer. First-year production may be limited, but by the second year, yields increase significantly. Mulch around the base to retain moisture and protect roots. Cut back dead foliage in late fall. Cut buds while tight and compact. If allowed to flower, they produce large purple thistles, which are ornamental but not edible. Harvest young leaves as needed and use thick stems like asparagus. Standard varieties: green globe and violetto. Perennial in zones 7 to 11. In colder zones, artichokes can be grown as annuals or heavily mulched for winter protection. Horseradish and globe artichoke demonstrate how perennials transform a garden from seasonal effort into decades of low-maintenance productivity. In our next video, we'll explore walking onions and sorrel, 2 more vegetables that multiply your harvest with minimal work. Welcome back to the Miracle Garden. In this episode, we explore 2 remarkable perennial vegetables that multiply themselves and provide continuous harvests with minimal effort. These plants embody the essence of low-maintenance, sustainable gardening. Our first plant is the fascinating walking onion, also known as Egyptian onion or tree onion. What makes this vegetable extraordinary is its ability to propagate itself, literally walking across your garden. Instead of producing typical flowers, walking onions form clusters of small bulbs called top sets at the tops of their stalks. As these top sets grow heavy, the stalk bends to the ground, and the bulbs root themselves, producing entirely new plants year after year. Everything about this plant is edible. Green tops, used like scallions throughout the year. Underground bulbs, similar to shallots. Top sets, harvest as pearl onions or leave to self-propagate. Plant bulbs or top sets 6 inches apart in early spring or fall. Choose a permanent location as walking onions thrive and spread rapidly. Walking onions require almost no maintenance. They grow in poor soil, tolerate drought, and are largely pest-free. No fertilizer or irrigation is necessary beyond establishment. In mild climates, they remain evergreen. In colder regions, they die back but regrow each spring. Once established, this plant can self-sustain indefinitely. Next, we have sorrel, a vibrant, lemon-flavored green that is a staple for both fresh and cooked dishes. Sorrel is a perennial that produces continuously for 4 to 6 years with minimal effort. Sorrel emerges early in spring and continues producing leaves through fall. It thrives in a variety of soils and tolerates partial shade, making it ideal for garden edges or layered perennial beds. Plant from seeds or divisions in spring or fall. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart in full sun or partial shade. Sorrel prefers moist, rich soil but tolerates moderate dryness once established. Pick outer leaves continuously, leaving the center intact to maintain growth. This encourages continuous production. Cut back flower stalks in summer to prevent self-seeding and prolong leaf harvest. French sorrel, large, arrow-shaped leaves, slightly tart. Red-veined sorrel, mild flavor, visually striking. Sorrel adds a bright, citrusy flavor to salads, soups, sauces, and omelets. Minimal. Water during dry periods and divide clumps every 3 to 4 years to maintain vigor. Sorrel provides months of harvest per season, is virtually pest-free, and fills gaps when other greens are scarce. Plant it once, and it rewards you year after year with tangy, fresh leaves. Walking onions and sorrel demonstrate the power of perennials, plants that multiply, self-sustained, and deliver harvests with minimal effort. In the next video, we will continue exploring more vegetables that transform your garden into a productive, low-maintenance food forest.
Welcome back to the Miracle Garden. In this episode, we explore two remarkable perennial vegetables that are versatile, resilient, and historically significant. These plants provide multiple harvests from a single planting, embodying the principles of sustainable, low-maintenance gardening. First, we have Good King Henry, an ancient European perennial that was a staple vegetable before modern greens became widespread. This plant is a true multi-crop perennial, producing 3 different edible parts. Why it's miraculous: spring shoots. Harvest young shoots like asparagus for early season nutrition. Summer leaves. Pick tender leaves for salads or cooked greens, similar to spinach. Flower buds. Harvest before flowering for a broccoli-like vegetable. Historical significance. Good King Henry was widely cultivated in European cottage gardens and valued for its hardiness and versatility. It was sometimes called poor man's asparagus because of its early, tender shoots. Planting instructions: start from seed or divisions in spring. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart in rich soil with partial shade. In cooler climates, full sun is ideal, while hot summers may reduce productivity. Ongoing care: keep the soil enriched with compost. Water during dry periods. Cut back dead foliage in fall. Divide plants every 4 to 5 years to maintain vigor and prevent overcrowding. Harvesting methods: shoots. Blanch or cover early growth for tenderness and harvest in spring. Leaves. Pick continuously throughout summer, taking only mature outer leaves. Flower buds. Harvest before buds open to preserve flavor and texture. Why it's miraculous: Good King Henry provides multiple harvests from one plant, produces for 10+ years, and fills seasonal gaps in your garden. Its resilience and productivity make it a forgotten treasure of perennial vegetable gardening. Next, we have sea kale, a coastal perennial that was once considered a gourmet vegetable in Victorian England. This plant thrives in challenging conditions while producing tender, flavorful shoots each spring. Why it's miraculous: produces blanched shoots in early spring, tasting like a cross between asparagus and broccoli. Tolerates salt spray and poor soil, making it ideal for coastal or marginal gardens. Can produce for 10 to 15 years with minimal care. Planting instructions: start from root cuttings or crowns in spring. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart in well-drained, sandy soil. Forcing shoots: cover emerging growth with a bucket or forcing pot to blanch, producing tender, mild shoots. Ongoing care: minimal maintenance required. Drought-tolerant and pest-resistant. Cut back dead foliage in fall and mulch lightly for winter protection if necessary. Harvesting methods: harvest shoots when they are 6 to 8 inches long. Remove only what you need, allowing remaining shoots to develop. Why it's miraculous: sea kale grows in soil conditions that many vegetables cannot tolerate. It's perennial, productive, and gourmet quality, providing early spring vegetables when gardens are otherwise bare. Good King Henry and sea kale demonstrate how perennial vegetables maximize productivity and resilience. These plants require minimal care, provide multiple harvests from a single planting, and help you build a low-maintenance, sustainable garden. In the next episode, we will explore multiplier onions and lovage, continuing our journey toward a full perennial vegetable garden that feeds your family year-round.
Welcome back to the Miracle Garden. Today, we explore 2 remarkable perennial plants that multiply and sustain themselves, providing continuous harvests with minimal effort. These vegetables demonstrate the magic of plant once, harvest for years gardening. At number 9, we have multiplier onions, also known as potato onions or shallots. These unique alliums are self-propagating, meaning each bulb naturally divides, giving you multiple bulbs from a single planting. Once established, you never need to buy onion sets again. Why they're miraculous: each bulb divides underground, forming clusters of 5 to 10 new bulbs. Harvest most bulbs, leaving a few to replant, creating an endless supply. Green tops are edible year-round like scallions. Planting instructions: plant bulbs 4 to 6 inches apart in well-drained soil. Choose fall planting in mild climates or early spring in colder zones. Plant with the pointed end up, just below the soil surface. Harvesting methods: when tops die back in summer, dig up the cluster. Separate bulbs, store the majority, and replant the best bulbs. Use green tops continuously for salads, soups, or garnishes. Storage, cure bulbs in a cool, dry area for 6 to 8 months. Multiplier onions store like regular onions, but also self-renew each season. Varieties, potato onions, large, mild-flavored bulbs, excellent for long-term storage. Shallots, smaller bulbs, sweeter and milder, perfect for fresh cooking. Why it's miraculous. Multiplier onions are virtually self-sustaining, productive, and require minimal maintenance. They multiply faster than you can eat them, making them a cornerstone of a perennial vegetable garden. Next, we have lovage, a tall, perennial herb that grows up to 6 feet, providing a powerful celery-like flavor from its leaves, stems, seeds, and roots. Lovage is versatile, hardy, and practically indestructible once established. Why it's miraculous. Produces edible greens, stems, seeds, and roots year after year. Requires minimal care and thrives in most soils. Intensely flavored. A little goes a long way in cooking. Planting instructions. Plant from seed or divisions in a permanent, well-drained location. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart to allow for full maturity. Lovage grows best in full sun to partial shade. Ongoing care. Minimal maintenance. Drought-tolerant and pest-resistant. Mulch in winter to protect crowns in colder climates. Divide overgrown clumps every 4 to 5 years to rejuvenate growth. Harvesting methods. Pick leaves and stems year-round. Collect seeds in late summer for flavoring or propagation. Roots can be harvested in fall for seasoning or medicinal use. Culinary uses. Leaves and stems. Soups, stews, stocks, salads. Seeds, flavor sauces, breads, or pickles. Roots, celery-flavored seasoning and cooking. Why it's miraculous. Lovage is perennial, highly productive, and multi-purpose. Plant it once, and it provides decades of culinary utility. Its intense flavor reduces the need for multiple herbs in the garden, saving space and effort. Multiplier onions and lovage demonstrate the beauty of self-sustaining perennial plants. With minimal effort, they provide continuous harvests, culinary versatility, and long-term productivity. In the next episode, we will explore watercress and Turkish rocket, completing our journey to a full, low-maintenance perennial vegetable garden. Welcome back to the Miracle Garden. In this final episode, we cover the last 2 perennial vegetables in our series, and then I'll share a bonus tip for designing a fully productive, low-maintenance perennial vegetable garden. At number 11, we have watercress, a fast-growing, nutrient-dense perennial green that thrives in wet soil or shallow water. Watercress produces peppery, flavorful greens year-round in mild climates, making it a perfect addition to a low-maintenance food forest. Perennial when planted in streams, ponds, or consistently wet soil. Continuous harvest with minimal care once established. Extremely nutrient-rich, high in vitamins A, C, and K. Plant cuttings in shallow water or very moist soil. Ensure adequate sunlight and gentle water flow for optimal growth. Crowding is fine. Watercress spreads naturally to cover available space. Cut stems continuously just above the base. New growth regenerates rapidly from nodes, providing constant supply. Watercress transforms wet areas into productive, edible spaces with virtually no maintenance. It's self-sustaining, flavorful, and year-round, filling ecological niches other vegetables cannot. At number 12, we have Turkish rocket, also known as bunyas, a versatile perennial that produces edible leaves, shoots, and flower buds for 5 to 10 years. Turkish rocket thrives in shade, poor soil, and drought, making it an ideal companion plant for challenging garden spaces. Multi-purpose edible plant covering leaves, shoots, and flowers. Highly resilient, shade-tolerant, drought-resistant, and low-maintenance. Continuous harvest when most annual vegetables are dormant. Start from seed in spring. Space plants 18 inches apart to allow full growth. Prefers partial shade but tolerates sun, adapts to various soil types. Pick young leaves for salads and sandwiches. Harvest shoots in spring for tender, flavorful greens. Collect flower buds before blooming for culinary use. Turkish rocket fills ecological and culinary niches other vegetables cannot, producing consistently for years with minimal intervention. Now that you know all 12 perennial vegetables, let's talk about designing a layered, low-maintenance perennial vegetable garden. A true food forest that provides continuous harvest from March through October, and even year-round in mild climates. Tall perennials, globe artichokes, lovage, good King Henry, provides structure and vertical yield. Medium perennials, asparagus, rhubarb, sea kale, produces heavily and fills mid-height space. Low perennials, sorrel, walking onions, multiplier onions, Turkish rocket, easy to access and harvest frequently. Ground covers / edible pathways, watercress in wet areas, creeping thyme along paths, provides productivity and ecological balance. March to April, asparagus, sea kale, rhubarb. May to June, sorrel, lovage, walking onion greens, good King Henry shoots. July to August, artichokes, Turkish rocket, watercress. September to October, multiplier onions, horseradish. Year-round, walking onion greens, watercress in mild climates. Add compost annually to feed long-lived perennials. Divide overgrown plants every 3 to 5 years to maintain vigor and expand your garden. Track planting, harvest dates, and yields to optimize performance and continuous food production. By planning carefully and layering perennials, you can transform a standard garden into a self-sustaining food forest. Plant once and reap decades of fresh, nutritious vegetables with minimal effort. This is the essence of a miracle garden: sustainable, resilient, and abundant.